Rockeyez would like to welcome Ryan Mckay, Crash Street Kids. Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, Brian. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, no problem. Let's go back to the early days in your career, Louis Prima Jr., Stoner Mckay, you know, all these bands. Do you feel a progression from each band? You learned more as your music career went on?
Oh, of course, man. There's no doubt about it. It seems like you pick up a little bit every step of the way. You know, you're working with different personnel, so therefore you're kind of getting new interpretations, you know, every time you go. So definitely, there's no doubt about it.
Right, right. How about when you worked with Michael Bruce from Alice Cooper? Did that help your career at all, or?
Only in the sense that that's where I met our drummer A.D. Adams from Crash Street Kids, and that's the one connection I made through that. And, you know, a producer and an engineer and stuff. So it was more of a networking thing, you know, and it was a great experience. I really enjoyed working with Michael. We did one of the songs that we had demoed wound up on the latest Alice Cooper record. When Hell Comes Home is the name of the track. It's on Welcome to My Nightmare, the sequel.
Cool. Very cool, very cool. Now, let's get to the first album, Let's Rock and Roll Tonight. That came out in 2005. Do you feel, again, a progression from each album that was released? You have 3 studio albums, right?
Yeah, actually, we're on our 4th. Sweet Creatures that just came out this year is our 4th.
Okay.
But, yeah, definitely, the thing with us, since by and large, we produce ourselves, and I think one of the progressions that we've made is that we've gotten a little bit better in the production standpoint each go-around, you know, and also as songwriters and the band itself, after you've been together for as long as we have, you know, we've never been tighter as we are now, and that's just from being around each other and doing, you know, all the gigs and all the sessions and everything.
Cool, cool, cool. Definitely, I remember listening to Chemical Dogs, and I just said, man, that CD really blew me away, and I only had a little bit of chance to listen to Sweet Creature so far, but I mean, I definitely hear the Mata Hoople influence, especially with Bang Bang You're Beautiful, which is a great tune.
Yeah.
I know you have other influences. Can you tell me, you know, some of them?
Absolutely, yeah. We got mostly from that era that Mata Hoople's from. We've got your David Bowie, T-Rex, and Alice Cooper and Kiss. We love sort of the American side of things. We tend to stay a lot in the 70s, sort of early 70s, late 60s stuff. I think that the songs were so great back then. You know, we're really focused on the songwriting piece of it. You know, and the chord structure and the melodies and stuff like that. So you know, Beatles and Jeff Lynne from ELO and stuff like that tends to creep in as well.
Right, right. Now, somebody who is new starting in this business, what recommendations would you, you know, tell them, like young kids, what to beware of and what things to look out for?
Well, that sounds cliche, but be yourself. Don't try to follow any trends. The mistakes that I've made over the years have all been attributed to me trying to do what was popular at the time, you know, or trying to follow this thing or that, you know.
Right.
And what I really like is, you know, when I was a kid, I was listening to Kiss records and David Bowie records, and you know, that's obviously not the most fashionable thing, you know, when I was coming up and when we first started. So, but we didn't care, you know. That was the thing. So if you're true to yourself, then you'll always be proud of your work.
Cool.
The things that I'm not proud of in my career are things when I've tried to sound like somebody else or tried to write like a new metal record or something like that, which I have absolutely zero interest in, you know.
Right.
So don't let anybody talk you out of doing what you want to do would be my advice.
Right, right. Great. Great. In the 70s, as you mentioned before, or early 80s, whatever you want to call it, what album influenced you the most that, you know, you remember playing over and over and over again was your favorite?
Easily, it would probably be Kiss Alive 1. That was the one that just really threw me for a loop, man. As soon as I heard the crowd and the bombs going off and the band just rocking, you know, it was suddenly, I mean, I was a kid, you know, I was 6 years old. So once I heard that, I thought, wow, you know, suddenly being a fireman or a policeman or a doctor sounded boring. When I said you could do that for a living, you could go up on stage and make that kind of noise and get that kind of feedback and all that stuff. It was like life-changing. So, that will always hold a special place in my heart. That along with, on the other side of things, like Ziggy Stardust from David Bowie was a real milestone for me, too, when I started digging into that record.
Cool, cool. Now, I know you must have painted your face when Kiss was around. Who were you? Come on. Who were you?
I was Ace Frehley.
It would have to be Ace or Paul, because you sing and
right.
you also play guitar. So, I figured it was definitely one or the other.
Well, I never painted. In full disclosure, I never painted. But remember those old cheap-ass Halloween costumes that they had in like the early '80s or late '70s. I had one of those. Yeah, and my little brother was Peter Criss.
Cool. I think we still use them little kits for my kids yet. So they're still around.
Cheap.
Yeah, I go to the dollar store and get them.
Right, exactly.
So talking about kids, you also teach guitar to kids. What's that like?
I do. Yeah, it's great, man. I love it. It's something I've enjoyed doing. It's if you're a musician, it's a great way to supplement your income. When I'm not on the road or doing stuff, I'm back home. I got my own little teaching studio and carry around 30 to 40 students a week. And it's fantastic. It's great to watch these kids grow up and get into their own bands, start doing their own thing. And I had one of my students I like to brag about, Nick, who started with me when he was about 11 years old. After a couple of years, he moved to New York City, and he got his little punk band together out there. I forget their names, but they're doing cool. And he flew back. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. He flew back here last summer, and just wanted to sit and talk to me and thank me for steering him in the right direction and influencing him and everything. And that's just a great feeling as a teacher to be able to touch somebody's life like that and watch them as they grow up, and get into the world of rock and roll. It's just it's a real pleasure.
Cool. Now, do you feel you need a record label anymore?
No, I don't think so. The days of the big record label and stuff, I think, are on their way out. I mean, you can do so much with the internet and the social media piece, and even things like Kickstarter that a lot of bands are using now, where you can get some funding for your various projects through your fans directly.
Cool.
There's so much stuff out there, lots of resources for bands. And if you get on a major label, we haven't, Crash Street Kids haven't been on anything real large, but you really don't walk away with a ton of money. You might as well keep everything to yourself, and you don't have to answer to anybody, and you can do your own thing.
Right. So, through the years, tell me what your first job was, and how was it?
Oh, I worked at a grocery store, bagging groceries.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I also worked I was a busboy in a country club, and having these dowdy old ladies shake their water glasses at me. Oh boy, bring me some more water.
Okay, and there you get a nickel.
So talking about paying your dues, those were horrible jobs, and I hope to God I never have to go back to doing stuff like that, and the music career keeps going steady like it has been for about 15 years now.
Wow. Is music beneficial for you?
In just about every way, it's something that, if you're ever pissed off, if you're ever sad or any kind of emotion you can pour it into your music, so it sort of deflects any real stuff that's maybe coming into your head. And it gave me a life. It's given me something to hang my hat on, so to speak. I mean, I grew up in a small town in Illinois of about 30,000 people, and I've played in Hollywood. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Hollywood this weekend, and I've played in Manhattan. I've done all these things. I've traveled and met so many people over the years, and had so many great experiences. And I'm just a little kid that basically heard Kiss Alive 1 when I was 6 in a small town on Jefferson Street in Quincy, Illinois, and music has taken me out of that city and given me this strange and cool life. You know, I'm very thankful to music. I owe everything to it.
Cool, cool. Now, what's the next step? Do you have any projects coming up for yourself or anything you want to talk about?
Well, we've got the new video for a song called Sad Julia. You can search that on YouTube, Crash Street Kids, Sad Julia. Go check that out. We could always use the hits. That's everything's all about going viral and getting the hits nowadays.
Yes.
And the new record, Sweet Creatures, is what we're supporting right now. We're really getting a lot of great positive feedback on it, so we're really excited about that. We do have some dates coming up, mostly West Coast stuff, hitting the San Diego, L.A., Las Vegas, Albuquerque, trying to make our way all the way up Portland and Seattle over the winter. So that's what's going on with us, and you know, just keeping everything going. Probably going to start a new record next year.
Cool, cool. Well, congratulations on the latest
Thanks.
album. And would you like to say anything to your fans out there?
Well, thanks for supporting Crash Street Kids, and tell a few friends. We could always use the extra word of mouth and stuff, and thanks for listening already.
Thanks a lot, Ryan.
All right, Brian, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.